can't believe it. It's my first blind date.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Really?
Woo!
You guys meet?
We sure did.
We've got chemistry here. You feel it?
I felt it.
All right.
What's up, guys? Boy, Benny. Happy Valentine's Day. Relationships are sacred, and lying to somebody who you are married to or in a relationship with is a particular type of betrayal. It turns the knife really hard, and it sucks when you do that, and it sucks when you lie about your relationship or, well, how you met your wife, how I met your mother. Maybe that's why Hunter Biden's so effed up. Joe Biden and Jill Biden have been lying about their relationship for a very long time. How do we know this? Well, because Jill Biden's husband has been openly speaking to the press about how Joe Biden stole his wife from him. Jill Biden was working for Joe Biden as a babysitter, babysitting his kids. They had an affair together. They were both married to different people. And that's the actual story that they tell. And we have evidence of that. We'll show it to you in just a moment. But since it's Valentine's Day and all, and the Bidens never miss an opportunity to lie to people, they released this pithy video, and I'm going to try not to break my finger off stopping it every single time I hear a lie, but have a listen.
You first met?
I was set up on a blind date by my younger brother.
That is a lie. According to Jill Biden's husband, who will speak in a moment, Joe Biden started creeping around when they were still married together. They were running off together like all the time. It's like a known fact. Jill Biden left him for Joe. This is all a pre-scripted story that they tell people that's been concocted by PR agents. For real.
He called me from school and he said, I go to school with this woman. You'll love her. She's beautiful and she doesn't like politics.
He called me on a Saturday afternoon and he said, this is Joe Biden. And I said, how'd you get my number? And
because I was the babysitter. That's how I got your number, because you're babysitting.
He said, would you like to go out tonight? And I said, I'm sorry, I already have a date. And he said, well, would you break it? I'm only in for one night. So I said, well, call me back in 2 hours and I'll see what I can do.
And she broke the date and didn't break my heart.
We went to Philly and we saw a movie and
Man and a woman.
a man and a woman. And Joe completely
Wait, what is a woman? Hold on. A man and a woman. What is a woman? Answer, quick.
blew his cover because he's like, I'm so busy, I don't know when I can call you next. I said, okay, fine. So he takes out his little calendar and he's looking through. He said, well, oh, no, I'm too busy Thursday. I'm too busy Wednesday. How about tomorrow night? And I thought, buddy, you just blew your cover.
So wait, so either Joe Biden's a total asshole and is trying to Bigfoot you to say how important he is, or he's a liar? Like one or the other. So great story, Jill. Fantastic job. Go raid another Bed Bath & Beyond for bath curtain dress.
I think we went out for almost every night after that for 2 years.
What's your favorite?
You went out every night after that for 2 years. When did you start babysitting for him? Were you married at the time? To your husband? Your first husband, Jill? Those records are public, right?
Thing about
When I met Joe, I guess I really admired his character and his strength. And then as I got to know him, it was more about his empathy, how he helped people. That's why he chose the profession he chose.
I thought you were going to say it's because I'm handsome.
what's your favorite thing about her?
My favorite thing about Jill is the way she treats our children. She's family.
Oh, the way she treats our children. First off, they're the children. You don't even mention your first wife, Joe. That's just unbelievable. Joe's first wife died in a car accident. Tragic. Last thing I'd do is try and make light of something like that. But, you don't even mention her? Hunter and Beau Biden, that's not Jill's children, right? They're adoptive children. Jill was the babysitter. It's amazing how much these people are willing. If they're willing to lie about this, what won't they lie about? But also, more importantly, Jill Biden being good for my family. Jill Biden is the one who wouldn't acknowledge Hunter Biden's grandchild out of wedlock. Not exactly the romance story for Valentine's Day.
We were both raised in families that were similar. We were both middle-class families, and we were told that families are beginning, middle, and end. And when I met her mom and dad, I knew it.
But for me,
Family's the beginning, middle, and end, says Joe Biden. That's what matters to us, family, except for, of course, our 7th grandchild. who we had to be shamed by the New York Times into acknowledging. You know, it's despicable, quite frankly, this stuff. It is emblematic of liars. Reminder, if they lie about little things, they'll lie about big things, okay? It's just the way it's going to work. When you catch someone lying, even like lying about the story about how they met, it just proves they're a liar at heart. And so what else are they lying about is the question you need to ask. So ladies and gentlemen, we decided to go back into the annals of history and to find the original interview with Jill Biden's husband that aired, and everyone tried to deep six this. They tried as hard as they could to get this man off the air. They even tried to criminally prosecute this man to stop talking about who Joe Biden and Jill Biden actually are. Please enjoy from Inside Edition and Jill Biden's first real husband. Jill Biden's husband tells the real Biden love story. More like a horror story. Watch.
But before Joe, there was Bill, the man Jill Biden married when she was only 18. Now her ex-husband is speaking with Stephen Fabian in this exclusive television interview.
It's going to hurt her. Yeah, it's going to break her heart.
He's the ex-husband of Dr. Jill Biden, the widely admired woman who's been at Joe Biden's side for 43 years. And he has an eye-opening story to tell.
I was betrayed by the Bidens. Joe was my friend. Joe was my wife.
The Bidens' love story is now legend, how they found true love after the heartbreak of losing his wife Nelia and baby daughter in a car crash in December 1972. They even put their tale of romance front and center at the Democratic convention last month.
When I met Jill, I fell in love with her when I saw her.
As Joe Biden tells the story, he first saw Jill's photo on an advertisement in Wilmington, Delaware in March 1975. His brother Frank, who knew the model from college, set Joe up on a blind date the following night. The Bidens' love story reads like a classic fairy tale. They saw a movie together on that blind date, fell in love, and never looked back. But Jill Biden's ex-husband says there's much more to the story, claiming Jill and Joe's relationship actually started in 1974 when he was still married to Jill. It was a blind date. Point blank, is that story true?
No, not even a little bit.
Bill Stevenson, the founder of a popular local rock music venue called the Stone Balloon, married Jill when she was just 18 years old.
Jill I met on the beach in Ocean City, New Jersey in August of 1969. Sure, I fell in love with her because I married her 6 months later.
In her memoir, Jill says of her first marriage, "I truly believed we were destined for each other. Looking back, it may seem like a mistake of youth." According to Bill Stevenson, both he and Jill first got to know Joe Biden when Biden was a county councilman in Newcastle, Delaware. Stevenson asked his help obtaining a liquor license. So you were friends with Joe Biden?
Oh, yeah. Not only that, I threw a fundraiser for him in August, raised between $2,500 and $3,000. We got married in 70. I introduced Joe to Jill in 72. Right before the election in 72, Jill, Joe, Nelia, and I were in his kitchen. How do you forget that?
That would be 3 years before that now famous blind date. Stevenson says his first inkling something was up came when Jill refused to go with him to meet Bruce Springsteen, who was booked to appear at the Stone Balloon.
He said, Joe asked me to keep an eye on the boys. And I just thought to the back of my mind,
Then one day, he says a man came into his bar and asked him to pay damages for a fender bender that involved Jill.
He looks at me and he says, oh, she wasn't driving. I said, her beloved Corvette, she wasn't driving it? He goes, Senator Biden was driving it. And I went, what?
Did you confront Jill at the time and say, what's going on here?
Yes, I did.
Did she admit to it?
She didn't say anything. She just looked at me. I said, you got to go. You got to go get your own place.
Jill and Stevenson's divorce decree was issued in May 1975. He says the divorce became contentious when Jill asked for a share of the Stone Balloon, which he says the judge denied. In the years following the divorce, Stevenson was convicted on a federal fraud charge and was also sentenced to 6 years probation for passing bad checks. He blames his legal problems on politics. He has just written a book about his life and is considering publishing it.
We're talking about decades and decades ago. This story comes out right before the election. A lot of people are going to ask some questions.
It's years ago, but guess what? It's so current right now because he is picking on people about character.
Has anybody from the Republican Party reached out to you to tell your story, to come out to tell these things about Joe Biden, to speak out against him?
Nothing. Not even a little bit.
Dr. Jill Biden is denying her ex-husband's claims today. In a statement to Inside Edition, her spokesman says these claims are fictitious, seemingly to sell and promote a book. The relationship of Joe and Jill Biden is well documented. Jill Biden separated from her first husband irreconcilably in the fall of 1974 and moved out of their marital home. Joe and Jill Biden had their first date in March of 1975, and they married in June of 1977. Stevenson has been married to his second wife, Linda, for 34 years. He insists he isn't out for revenge.